We're still on foal watch here at Running Springs for our first baby. We're waiting on Raven. We're going to take a look at her body here in a minute at 332 days pregnant. But I kind of noticed I've never told y'all what's in my foaling kit. You know, what do I keep prepared on hand for when all these babies are born? And so I figured we could do a unpack my foaling kit video. Raven says she agrees. Let's do it. You can't escape. Get back in there. Get back in there. Okay. We'll look at you later.
Nice.
Full effect, you know.
We're going in for the first time.
We're going in to the very fancy tack room, which has a lot less tack in it.
But we're not supposed to.
This was put on there when we had like an event, and then we just never took it off.
Katie, you're not supposed to be in there.
Anyway, it's dirty. Let me just say, it's not fancy. It's not the cleanest and the most organized. It's a lot more organized these days than it ever has been. So let's make this is my laser. Let me move the laser. Okay, the lighting is just terrible. We're gonna have to get over that. I'm probably looking disgusting. Here's the thing. I need to just say before we get into this, if you are foaling out a mare, and if you don't really have experience and you don't have your own foaling kit already set up, you can definitely get ideas from this video, but please do not take this as law. I would love for you to get with your vet, your veterinary professional that you are talking with on your mare, ask them what you need. This can definitely spark questions for you, but please do not take this video as law. Now, in here is a lot of things that we need. There's other things too that don't really pertain to foaling. You know, this is like foal alerts in here. So we keep, those are wipes. So sorry, I thought those were, here's the enemas. So one thing that I've learned to keep on hand rather than having to run out to the store and get is enemas. So one of my most viral videos back in the day, I think it was 2023, so back in the day, 2023, was I realized Trudy was gonna have her foal really early. Like she was like day 322 or something like that. And I really didn't expect for her to be foaling already. And I realized I didn't have any enemas. And so I was running out to Walgreens to get enemas. And like, it was like 11 o'clock at night trying to find a Walgreens open. Went and bought some. The lady at the cash register was like, you're in an awful hurry for enemas at 11 o'clock at night. And then got back and feet were poking out. Like,
oh my
it
gosh.
was bing, bang, boom happening. And so enemas are kept on hand due to the fact that passing the meconium is very important in a timely fashion for the foals. So the meconium is that first poop, essentially. It's this really thick black poop that they made in the womb, and they need to pass it first, because if they get blocked up, it's basically like a colic in a foal, and it can be detrimental to them. And so you want to make sure that they eat and that they poop. So giving them an enema just ensures that that happens and it's soft and ready to come out. So we give all of our babies at least 2 enemas before the first 12 hours is over. We keep iodine. So we keep iodine on hand because we dip every single navel as the foal is born twice at least. This keeps that sterile. I mean, they're in a stall or they're outside, or, you know, sure, wild horses are born and they live every single day, but that area is so much more susceptible to allowing bacteria in, especially because they're around their mom who's defecating, and maybe they crawl over or lay down right on top of a poop pile or something, and then that little navel that's open allows it in there. And so we dip it a couple of times just to sterilize it and to keep it nice and clean. So iodine on hand. This is not necessarily what you should have in your foaling kit, but having something to dip the navel in. So like, it gets messy just pouring it. So what I use, I've got these syringes, and so right now they have, you know, a regular syringe in them, but I just fill it up, and then it's easy enough just to stick it on top of the...
It just fits in.
Yeah, because the navel's itty bitty.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of like dip it in there. Yeah. Also in here, let's just stick to like one cabinet
Yeah.
and then move to the next cabinet. So you'll notice all the blankets. So we have multiple sizes of baby blankets because we foal when it is cold. I think a couple of our babies last year didn't end up having to wear one because they were born in like April, but generally speaking, the first few babies of the year have to wear a blanket at some point. So we have a couple of different sizes of the Foal Savers. You can get these in Schneider's. I know other brands have them, but these are a lot softer and they have this like elastic in the front that I think is really important that others don't. So I use these on baby cows, baby horses, all different kinds of things, and they're cloth and they're washable. So these baby blankets are super important if you're in a cold environment. So I forgot that we made a kit that's just like all put together, not just haphazardly all around. So there's still some stuff that are out, but I'm just gonna unbox it a little bit.
It's an unboxing vid.
So, like I already said, enema, iodine, big syringe, but then also, now I have one of these in there. Have I ever used it?
What is that for?
It's for like getting the snot out. No,
It's
this
a
isn't
snot
big enough.
sucker.
It's not big enough. I use it for the kids more than anything. It doesn't really do anything. So you can try. It's fine. Thermometer, important because if something starts going south, your baby starts acting strange, lethargic, whatever, and you're trying to relay important information to your vet before they come either look at your horse in person or you take it to the clinic. A lot of the times vet clinics aren't as accessible as they are to me. Mine's 30 minutes away. Sometimes you're having to travel hours or your vet's having to travel hours. So being able to give them accurate information, like something as simple as a temperature, very important. So not that we needed this in here. It was for like, just, being able to show y'all. So we keep baling twine around because a lot of the times when the mom's placenta is hanging out and you're trying to get her to pass it, she'll step on it and you don't want her to tear it or you don't want her to pull it out. You want it to come out naturally. And so what we'll do is we'll tie it up, A, so that she's not stepping on it, and B, because if you tie it into a knot, a lot of the times that'll like put a lot more of the weight in one spot and act as like a weight and help it naturally, like gravity do the job of pulling, of encouraging the placenta to come out. So baling twine comes in handy. Vet wrap, I don't usually vet wrap my mare's tails, but a lot of people do. So if you would like to keep your mare's tail clean and out of the way, you can vet wrap it. I choose not to, maybe until I'm like right there knowing that she's going into labor and it's in the way, because I've had mares really hate it and like rub their butt and then they rub their foal alert out and like all this stuff. And so this, it's kind of a personal preference if you're going to wrap your mare's tail or not, but it's good to have on hand.
And you would wrap it pre-birth.
Yeah, if you do it, you usually wrap it pre-birth.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's talk about meds. This is where you really need to talk to your vet, but I'm gonna tell you what I have on hand, just because. So I keep quite a bit of Banamine on hand in both paste form and in liquid form that goes in IV, so like a shot. Some of my mares turn into dragons when they're going through the birth and everything like that. It is crazy to see a horse shift personalities so hard as right after birth or during birth. And so sometimes all I can do is shoot some in its mouth, and this is gonna take a little bit longer to activate. But if they are calm enough for me to give a shot, then I keep Banamine on hand. So this will be given IV. Banamine is not to be given IM in the muscle. It's intravenous. Again, please talk to your vet. Don't take this as me telling you things. And then the other drug that I think is super important to keep on hand when you are breeding and foaling out is oxytocin. So again, talk to your vet, don't talk to me. So oxytocin can be used for an array of things. So let's say your mare is having a hard time passing that placenta and it's been hours, and it's a very important thing for her to pass her placenta within 4 hours. And so if you get to that like 2 hour, 3 hour mark and she's really not making progress, she's not having contractions, they need to continue to have contractions to pass that placenta, you can give them by your veterinarian's direction oxytocin, and it'll actually cause them to contract. Now, Banamine, I don't give unless the placenta has passed, because Banamine will actually relax their whole body, and then they'll stop contracting. They'll not have pain. And so it's important to know that balance, because sometimes the mamas are super crabby because they're cramping, but they've passed their placenta. So then it's like, okay, I might as well give you Banamine so that you're nice to your baby, you feel better. But if she's still needing to pass that placenta, if it's been a long, long time. And then if that still doesn't work, and placing weights like towels and things like that within the placenta to help it move out, if that's still not working, then the vet needs to be called. Also, oxytocin, while it is good for those contractions, it's also used as like the love drug to, if a mom is like trying to reject her baby or whatever, it's also given in those circumstances. Again, as directed by your vet. Now, I'm not going to give you any tips on sedation. There have been once or twice when a mare is very upset with her foal and is trying to hurt us, and it may be her first time or whatever, where we have had to sedate a mare in order to just get her to safely let the baby nurse and things like that. But again, that has all been directed by a vet. Okay, towels.
Gotta have a towel.
Towels, we have so many. Right now, we don't have a ton. They're all in the wash. We keep towels everywhere. So many towels, just because you're going to be wiping yourself off, you're going to be wiping the foal off possibly. Sometimes when mama foals, she's so tired and that baby's laying there cold and the mama's not up licking it yet. It's important for you to help. And so that's why we keep a lot of towels on hand to get them dry. Raven's upset because she thought it was dinner time. She came in a little bit early for us. So towels, salt. Now, salt is an interesting one.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, also just like having needles, syringes, gauges, alcohol, sterilizing stuff, that kind of thing here. We have a sharps container. We have all that stuff to try to be as safe as we can. This isn't necessarily a foaling kit. You can have these nifty, you can tell it's brand new. It's nice, and I think you do need to get them every so often though, because they'll go bad. But these are just like pH strips, and at the very end, if I'm like, God, when is this mare gonna foal? And she's like not giving us a whole lot of stuff and she has a little milk, test it on here, and depending the color, it'll tell you like if she's within 24 hours, 72 hours, whatever. It's pretty accurate, not gonna lie. Raven still has like clear milk right now. We'll go look at her in a second, and so I'm not even testing on here yet. Once it gets like cloudy or white, we'll start testing. We do just have like everything stocked up as we normally would. So like wound care, and then like needles, and again, Rachel bought these. I don't use them, but we have them. So we keep salt because we keep it already to put in horses' feed, to encourage drinking in like major temperature changes and things like that. And so I keep salt on hand so that if a mom is like having no interest in licking her baby, she's not necessarily rejecting it.
Yeah.
I actually did this trick this past season with Happy and Millie.
I remember this.
Sometimes the mom is so focused on her contractions or whatever that she's not focusing on what she needs to do, which is licking baby and bonding with baby and getting baby stimulated. People can stimulate babies, but if one needs a little extra, there's nothing like a mom licking and biting and all the good things. So what I had to do this past year was I just put tons of salt all over Millie, and Happy went to licking. And then finally she was standing up. So having salt on hand is good for that. Now, I think that's about all I can think of for my foaling kit. And like I said, my vet is 30 minutes away. And so luckily there's a lot of things that I don't feel like I have to prepare for due to the fact that they could get to a clinic fast, or they could get here fast. I do know some like big thoroughbred farms and really large breeding farms might keep oxygen on hand. I'm not in a place where I feel like I can do that safely. That's dangerous, and I don't think I have the facility for that at this point. I could be wrong. If you have experience doing that, please let me know in the comments. If I missed something that you like having on hand for your foaling kit, would love to hear. I basically have the same stuff for my miniature foals. But I think if you are embarking on this breeding journey, this might give you a good place to start. So now let's go look at Raven our first mare, our only mare who's like within the safe window to foal. Okay, so Raven is very large, very low, very pointy. Can you move so I can show them? Can you see it on camera how low and large she is? And she's so angry. She's angry at everybody. Her teats look about the same, I would say, but she does have a little bit of clear milk coming out, which that hasn't been happening until last night. So we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. And then she's been rolling a lot. Like, we came in from the vet today. We took some mares to do ICSI, and like, she was laid out outside, and I was like, it's happening. But it wasn't. So she's been rolling a lot. She is very jiggly.
Very jiggly.
Very jiggly. She does have her foal alert in, so we will get a call if she's in her stall and starts to foal. I've only ever had it not work twice, and it was because Indy rubbed it out.
That's Indy for you.
Anyway, I think that's about it. Can you think of anything else? You've been here for a few foaling seasons, Nate.
Maybe some like straw or hay or whatever it is.
Good thinking. Pop out here. And we're prepared this year. Look at all this good straw. So that's something that, again, there's different thoughts on it. Some people foal out on shavings. Some people choose. Can you make sure she doesn't come out of there? I just left that open. So some people choose, and I'm one of them, that like straw. I think straw offers a much drier bedding for the baby to start off on. If mom, urinates or defecates, it generally stays a little cleaner with this and drier for the foal to lay on rather than sawdust. And the sawdust, I think, does get up in the air a lot more and gets in the baby's nose and eyes. So I usually have them on straw for about 2 weeks, and then we go back to regular shavings. But that's a good one. I'm glad that you suggested that.
I'm thinking, paying attention.
Just throwing things out there. A muck bucket, because you're going to want to collect the placenta for the vet to look at. And so if you don't want to just have it hanging around, which I don't think you do.
No.
Collect the placenta if you can and put it into a bucket so that when the vet comes to check everything out, they can make sure that both horns are there, everything is intact. Because if your mare has retained some of her placenta, that can be very dangerous. She can go septic, she can get infected, like really bad stuff could happen. So it's best if it is retained that so you can flush her out and have the vet do something about it, because that is very serious. So a placenta bucket, maybe some electrolytes to encourage mama to drink. We always deworm our mare within 24 hours of foaling. Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Bringing good vibes. Yeah, all that is good. So if you have anything to add, again, please leave it in the comments if I missed anything, which I probably did. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it brought some education for you. If you are embarking on your breeding journey, please let me know how it goes. I'm so excited for you if you are, and stay tuned, because we are about to be on foal watch, and hopefully we have our very first foal healthy on the ground here soon.